afternoon I'd come back and I was sitting down and I'd just finished cleaning my rifle scope and that, and I was looking through it, mate, to see how clear it was. And I was just scanning across the hill through it, and I just happened to see these two big things walking out. I wasn't sure what they were. They looked like two big, tall, reddy brown creatures, and one walked out onto the rock and sort of knelt down, and the other one walked out and sort of stood behind it, and they were there for a little while. I brought them out to have a look, and they were just there for a little while. They didn't do anything much. They didn't make any noises, and then they just walked off back into the thick bush. And out of all those years that I'd been there, that was the first and only time I'd ever seen them.
What time of day was this, roughly?
Probably about this time in the afternoon, so it was like between 4:30 and now. They just happened to walk into the line of where I was looking. And I know I've seen them walk onto the rock. They were just something that I'd never seen before. Well, they were very tall, and they were a browny, rusty red colour, not a bright red or a bright rust, a sort of a dull, browny, reddy sort of a colour. Very tall.
And how tall compared to you do you think bisons were?
No, they were taller than me, yeah.
By how much do you think?
At least a foot. They'd be at least a foot taller than me.
Yeah.
It looked like hair all over them, and they were sort of broad but square-shouldered, and their arms come straight down from their shoulders, straight down their body, and very long legs. They looked to be long, very tall, straight across the shoulders, not wide.
Their actions, what they actually did, what you observed them doing while you were looking through the scope?
Well, they both walked onto the rock, and one knelt down. Just like the one that was kneeling down was just looking around in front of it, and the other one that was standing behind it was looking around, looking out, sort of thing. And the one that was behind it never ever knelt down. It just stayed upright the whole time, and they never ever moved. They didn't move around much. It was just like if one had knelt down, it was looking for something there on the edge of the rock, where the ground and the grass left the rock, come up to the edge of the rock. And then the other one was standing behind it, sort of thing, just looking around at what it was doing, and just sort of around the hill. They weren't concerned, didn't look concerned or anything about anything much. Just like if they were walking and looking, browsing for something to eat, something like that, and wandering through. They weren't in a hurry. Then the one that was kneeling down stood up, and they both walked backwards straight into there's a lot of tea tree and thick bush behind that rock. And a very rocky hill with a lot of growth on it, big trees and stuff like that. And they just walked backward into there steadily, and that was the last I saw of them. They stood out there for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes before they'd walked back off into the bush, and then that was the last we'd sort of seen of them. I had never ever saw anything before then.
Did both of these things look similar, or did they look different?
No, they looked both about the same. Both the same colour, same shape. They were like definitely too mature.
You're talking about a tall thing. Was it tall and like a human?
No, it wasn't lean, but they were solid, but they weren't. They were fairly wide. Like they would have been wider than a person. They were square off the shoulders. Their arms come down beside their body. Their arms weren't out off their body. Their arms sort of come down to beside their body, past their hips, and their head just seemed to sit upright in the middle of the shoulders. But they weren't like a long, real thin animal. Their body, they were in proportion, sort of thing. They weren't over wide and they weren't under thin, if you know what I mean by that. At about 7 foot tall, they were square but not over wide across the shoulders, but not thin and wiry looking either. They were solid. They stood out.